studio with me here in Brooklyn. Let's go. Welcome to the Pucking Panthers Podcast, where we don't give a puck. Holy cheese balls, we got a final on our hands. It's going to be a rematch. I'm a little nervous, I'll be honest with you. You see Connor McDavid at the bottom of your screen.
Oh, that was too
He
early.
has eyes. He has eyes that are like laser freaking beams attached to their foreheads. You'll see it again. But this is our Cup final preview. We are going to be breaking down all the important things. We're going to go back and forth on that rundown a million times. Just a Cup final preview. But then we're going to go through the McDavid's debacle, like how we're going to shut him down, how important this series is to the Florida Panthers as a dynasty, if you would consider us a dynasty if we capture the Cup for a second straight year. We're going to get to a tax expert, a certified public accountant who is no horse in this race, okay? Well, he is from Toronto, but he knows a lot about Canadian and Florida tax law. And we're gonna talk to him, and he's gonna give us an exact number by number breakdown to tell us what the financial implications are of these contract differences, and so Biz can like shut the fuck up about it. And we are gonna bring in anyone from the audience that wants to join. So you see the link in the YouTube subscription description. And on
worry,
X,
it's fine.
we tweeted it out as well. If you're watching live on X, on YouTube, you can join this show live. Be in one of these little cute little red boxes with us. All right, so click on that link, hop in there. Password is cat, and you can join. What the hell is this?
That's what Taylor wishes it was.
Yeah, exactly. I do. I mean, I'm scared right now. But hold on. Let me open it up for questions, Alex. Or rather, what's your fucking vibes right now going into the Cup final, Alex?
I was gonna say maybe Biz will join the show.
Maybe
To counter.
No, he's too scared.
Too
he won't
scared.
do it. Too scared. What
God.
are you feeling, Alex?
Clip that and tag him.
Going
What
into
am I feeling?
Oh, wrong banner.
3
Hold
years
on.
in a row.
killing it.
3 years. You're killing this. This is my moment.
Yes, we got all these variables.
My hands. All right, Alex. So what
3
what
years.
3 years.
3 years in a row. 3 years in a row we're in the final, and that's something to be proud of. That's
Yes.
amazing. We've already won last year, and that still feels amazing, and it's gonna feel amazing when we win it again, because we will. Because we are the better team. And I will have my final thoughts end of the episode with my prediction.
Courtney, are you and stay for the end of the episode. We will have predictions on the series from all of us, how many games we think it's going to go, who we think is going to win. Court, how are you as confident as Alex right now? Because he's like prancing around like a leprechaun on the Lucky Charms box.
I feel like my confidence skyrockets when everyone's talking shit. Like, the last couple games, or whatever game it was when we went down, and everyone was like, all right, game over, series over, like, that's it, we had a good run. And I was like, guys, come on, like, gotta have faith, we're gonna win this. That's when I'm like at my most confident. Right now, I'm just like nervous and anxious to get started. Like, I'm also not used to having this much time without hockey, so we just gotta get it going.
Chris, I mean, you gotta be a little scared. You gotta be a little scared.
I'm right there with Courtney. Like, when we were down 2-0 against Toronto, I really wasn't that worried. Like, I thought there was a chance we could lose, but I really thought we were gonna pull that one out, and we did. This time, I'm anxious, you know? Like, I want the series to start. I think it's so difficult to quantify how each team has improved over the last year. Like, I think both teams are better than they were last year, and even that came down to a 1-goal game in Game 7. So I don't know how I feel. I just want to watch hockey.
Dan, what do you make of the argument that the Oilers have? And we'll dig more into this as we get further into the episode. But initial reaction, like, do you think the Oilers are better than they were last year, or are you expecting more of the same?
I don't know. I don't know if they're any better. If that's what the analysts say, then I suppose that's true. I don't watch every single Oilers game to know. I don't think they're any more exceptional than they've been in the way that, how exceptional is Connor McDavid this year and last year? He's exceptional. He's always been. And their star forwards, Leon Draisaitl, like who's the other guy, Bouchard. They're all really great. So I don't think there's maybe we'll see some more performance in lower lines or something that we might not have seen last year, but
their fourth line is pretty good.
Yeah, and ours is too. I guess it was last year though as well. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a matter of it's going to be a mental game. Can they bear to not give it their all? Can they give it enough that that beats us because of the humiliation of being beaten last year and needing to avenge themselves? And can we hold the fort and prove that we're the best? I think it's it'll just be a matter of confidence and of the mental game. I think the matchup is more or less the same in terms of strengths. I don't think there's any glaring weaknesses one team or the other has. So we'll see how it plays out, how the players actually execute, knowing that it's all on the line.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get into the rundown here. We have all of the topics that we care most about tonight. This is 8 p.m. on Monday. We are 2 days away from Game 1. I'm like literally like shaking from excitement. I just want this to fucking happen again. I also want to be the team that denies McDavid a cup his entire career. That sounds really mean. I like that. You would go down in history as denying, and I will say, the greatest player of our lifetime, McDavid, denying him a cup for his entire career. We are going to be the team that does that. Court, are you nervous about about McDavid? I mean, we saw him storm back. We were ahead 3-0 in the last year, and he basically put the entire team on his back. So how do you go about shutting down a guy like that?
Well, I think it's definitely mental, right? Like the way he just like lost his mind last year.
Dig the fuck in.
Yeah, like he's such
put it on the line.
Dig the fuck in.
So I think as long as we can beat the mental game, I agree with Dan. Like it's just gonna come down to that, especially like if that's their leader and we can get in his head so easily, just have to do that again.
So looking back on that rant, I mean, do you see it as a sign of a strength or like a sign of like weakness?
Oh, it's the biggest weakness, and it's unfortunate that he showed his cards so easily. Like have your temper tantrum, but also like don't do it so like everyone knows how easily it is to get under your skin, because now we know. Right. And there's nothing that the Cats know better than how to get under skin. So
I just can't get over his arms to his side, like he was throwing like a temper tantrum on the side of a highway on a trip to Disney. Dan, are you also are you very concerned about McDavid here?
Sure. I am concerned about McDavid. I think my opinions on what the more challenging type of opponent is have changed. I used to think, I think the Kane series is maybe anomalous, but 2 years ago, after seeing a series like that, I was like, or rather, seeing the way Dallas performs, or a team like that plays a physical game. It's scarier to play a physical team because you think they might out-physical you, and then you think that the rush team, that the star power team, the slick players team, will be an easy shutdown. But after looking at the Leafs series versus the Kane series this year, I'm more scared of the super fast, capitalize on turnovers, on long changes, breakaway team than I am the physical team, because the physical team, we invented the rule book, and we can out physical the Canes, we can out physical the Stars probably. Like we play that tougher, physical forechecking kind of dump and grind game better than anyone else. But when you get up against someone who plays the breakaway speed, individual skater skill game as well as the Oilers do, it doesn't matter if you're grinding them into the boards for 59 minutes. If you get a long change, if somehow you've got four guys on the ice, wink, wink, Uvis Balinskis, they will get a goal that will win a goal and win a game in a 2-1 game. And we saw that against Toronto. Those are the kinds of things that can turn the tide of a game, even if we are dominating the play of the game. So I think what we figured out, I think what we kind of figured out in the Toronto series will need to apply extra here, which is just super careful, conservative defense to prevent this aggression, these breakaways and these kind of chances. And the best way to do that, I think, is to continue our game. Like, forechecking is just defense in the offensive zone. Mm-hmm. If we can if we can play defensive regardless of the side of the ice we're on, then the puck may never come past our blue line and we won't be at any risk. But we need to not let the foot off the gas and give away those silly chances, because that can, that's all they'll need. That's what they do. That's how they win games. They don't, grind you into a hole by beating you against the wall. They just get these quick chances, these quick plays, these fast shots, and suddenly you're chasing a game. And that's what we need to stop.
Don't wait
well
for me,
said.
boys.
Yes.
Don't wait for me, boys. I mean, that was a killer analysis. I'm just letting someone else get in here. Everyone's tired of my voice.
Yeah, part of the issue, one thing that concerns me, and McDavid is gonna get his. He had, I think, 11 points in 7 games against us last year. I don't see any way of actually shutting McDavid down. We were able to somewhat shut down Draisaitl. He had 3 points in 7 games last year. I think they were both working through injuries, but I mean, this time of year, they're all working through injuries. But when it comes to the forecheck, it's gonna be. I think there are a lot of parallels with Toronto, like Dan mentioned, but I think that the Oilers are defensively, they are better at moving the puck. Obviously we saw those stretch passes from Toronto and we adjusted, but I think the Oilers this year are better than they were last year defensively, moving the puck out of their defensive zone. And so much of our game is predicated on winning those forecheck battles. And if we lose and we pinch too early or something like that, all of a sudden it's going the other way. And, but Bob was pretty bad last year. Bob can't be the second best goalie in the series again this year if we want to win. But if we don't win the forecheck, if we don't win those battles, then I don't see us faring very well.
I fully expect them to come out way better than they were last year. I felt like they were getting bullied in the first few games. Alex, I mean, Dan was mentioning the Toronto series. Great point, because those guys were cherry picking like crazy. They would get an occasional opportunity and score, and then we'd be like, all right, fuck, that sucks. We thought we were playing really good defense, but we just left one hole open, or we decided to only play with 4 guys instead of 5. Now, when you look back on that series, we went down 2-0. And in the first round, Edmonton went down 2-0 to the Kings. Now, out of those 2 series, if you're comparing them, which fan base should be more concerned about having a start like that? Do you think the Panthers coming off their first round were maybe a bit tired or whatever? Or do you think the Kings just got off to a slow start? Or do you consider that to be negligible and just so comparable? Because I mean, give the Oilers credit; they lost 2 to the Kings and they won 4 straight.
Yeah, comparing the 2, I think the Toronto series, I was never nervous. I really wasn't. I really thought we were the way better team. Yeah, we were down 2-0, and I was saying to you guys, we're winning the next 4. And I was pissed when we lost Game 6. And you know what I mean? And we should have, whatever. Anyway, Edmonton, I really thought they were going to lose that first.
You must have been really pissed the fact that you can't talk about it. You're like, you know what? Let's just move on. Let's just not. I don't want to talk about my broken dining room table.
My broken TV with a remote in it. Damn it!
I believe
we lost Game 6.
It's
totally
over. Yeah, exactly.
It's over.
That was literally Toronto when we won
My
Game
life.
5. The entire world is burning. Sorry, Alex. Go.
I thought the Kings were going to take out the Oilers in the first round. I was surprised they were able to come back. I think that was your question, was which series being down 2-0, comparing the 2, right? You were asking me.
Who? I guess which team is luckier to be here? Which team?
Oilers. Yeah. I think the Kings were looking great, and then they choked away. And the Oilers are a good team. I'm not going to put it past them. They're a good team. They came back. They did what they needed to do. But the Kings are not the Panthers. Panthers down 0-2 against Toronto. I never felt scared. Like I keep saying, I knew we were going to come back. Same thing with this series. We're talking about shutting down McDavid. Obviously, a guy like him, he's always going to get his due. But my mind thinks about this a little bit differently, how the last final played out last year. When we were playing, like we were actually the Florida Panthers, we shut him down. We shut down their entire team, and we really controlled games 1 through 3 and game 7. When we were very nervous to win the cup and put our skates on their necks, that's when he came alive. I'm not discrediting him. He's a great player, but I think we were extremely nervous coming out of game 4, whether it was them, the stories of them bringing their families to Edmonton and all this bullshit that was going on, and nervous and all this stuff, whether it was that, and then it just escalated. It just snowballed from there badly.
They were also playing desperate at that point. Yeah, down 3-0, like they changed the way they were playing.
Of course, but it's like you look with us. It's like Toronto was playing desperate in Game 6. You know what I mean? That was a very tight game. Carolina was playing very desperate in Game 4. They got that win, but we were able to come back the next game. We beat Toronto 6-1, and we beat we were down 2-0 right to the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 5, and then just took care of them. Took care of business. Yeah. Oilers last year, we were dominating them. We shut down McDavid. I don't even think he had a point in the first 3 games.
I don't think so.
He did. Yeah. He had a point in the fourth one when we won 4-1, and then they got 2 goals and started to have their little getting all desperate play, and then they got it to 4-3, but we ended up winning that game. He had a point in that one, I believe. But my point is that I think when we are playing how we are supposed to play, no one's touching us. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's Wayne Gretzky in the 80s. I don't care if it's Connor McDavid in 2025. We're a good, solid team all around, and they don't have the depth, especially without Hyman. Our team thrives on shutting down the top players on the other team. We shut down Draisaitl last year. We shut down McDavid when we were not nervous, and now we have one less guy to worry about, Hyman, who is their 3rd best player. Who else they have? Evander Kane? You know what I mean? Okay, so let's put all of our efforts on shutting down McDavid and Draisaitl. And
you don't like 40-year-old Corey Perry? Come on.
Get out of here with Corey Perry.
Nice. Dan, actually, we have some comments here that I want to get to.
Jeff Skinner's going to play.
We have some really solid comments if we can pull some up. This is coming from Sasha Murakovsky. She says, I think we have a really great momentum going in with Barkov, Selke, and King Clancy awards. It's a nice boost in confidence. Yeah. I mean, when you have is it St. Jude's Children's Hospital? When you have them backing you?
Yeah, that was sweet.
It's Joe DiMaggio. That's who it is. Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. If you didn't see the video, go on the Florida Panthers Twitter. It's freaking awesome. But Barkov winning both the King Clancy and the Selke Award, his 3rd Selke, joining a list of I think only 6 other NHLers that have done that, or maybe 5 others. But still, unreal.
Did you see the numbers?
We can make this entire episode about Barkov, and we wouldn't.
Yeah. Did you see the voting numbers? I mean, he was just a landslide.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it was great. It was great to see. Yeah. And you know what? I don't know. I think we might have time for a Rhino report in a moment. Do you have that animation?
I have the animation.
All right, Court. If I think you have some Rhino reporting to do on the Selke voting here. Why don't you hit that whenever you want?
Let's hit it. Yeah. Oh, you're looking at me.
Yeah. That's money. What's the Rhino report?
Our boy Rhino, he is back. He's back after taking a little break after that knee-on-knee incident that happened, and he's coming back with a landslide 2nd for the Selke Trophy.
Yeah. Undisputed runner-up.
That's cool.
One of the best performances we've ever seen from a runner-up. Thank you. And let's give it up for Courtney with her amazing Rhino report.
Hit it again.
Yeah, exactly. One more time for the folks at home. That was great.
Our twitchy boy.
Our little twitchy boy. We
got our
have
Reinhardts out.
We have a couple more comments here to get to. My stepmother Mariko Craig. Here, let me highlight it again. Stepmom Mariko Craig says, "This is Sean. That's my dad." Who did not want to log into his own YouTube account. Clearly, who do you think has the edge on special teams? Great question, Dad. And Mariko as a conduit. Yeah, I mean the edge on special teams. I think the Panthers did very well, especially early in the Carolina series against a PK that got like a lot of credit. mean, what do you? I'll open it to the floor. Chris, do you have any thoughts on the power play matchup here?
I mean, it's definitely the Panthers have the edge, in my opinion. I think we're about this. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think we're at what, like 24% on the power play, but we're over 80% on the PK. And I think that's the difference, is being
That's what I was
so
gonna say.
strong on the PK.
Yeah.
Like the power plays,
Yeah.
I think last year there were, I don't know, like 4 goals throughout 7 games scored on power plays, and 2 of them were shorthanded. The Oilers scored a couple shorties against us. Like the special teams didn't really play into last year's series as much as we
I
might
have
have
the numbers if you want to
expected.
go to video.
Yeah, please
That's
do.
because Draisaitl was getting shut down in his
See,
little office on the side.
And that's the one you know, like we were going back and forth on whether it should be Barkov versus McDavid. But the only time we're really going to see those matchups, like for sure, is during special teams, because you know the first 2 games they're going to have last change, and they're going to try their best to.
You guys are not going to. I'm sorry, Chris, but look at these numbers.
Oh, go for it.
They have a 66% penalty kill. This is
remember
this is in the
last year,
playoffs. And we have an
into the series,
87.9. 66% penalty kill after we're coming off a hot Carolina series. Like, Edmonton's in trouble when we're on the power play.
They have a great. I was gonna say they have a great power play, and I like that you have that up there because I didn't know what their percentage was. I was sure they were above us. They're way above us. Yeah, 30%. But I agree. Our penalty kill is what's gonna make the difference here. We're just way too good on the penalty kill. So I think that's where that 30% doesn't really matter. And we have a good power play percentage, so we might be able to kind of really kick them there.
I think so.
Might get his office in the middle again, in the slot.
Oh,
right,
we haven't seen that play in a minute.
In a
I don't know
while,
if you guys
right?
remember
Yeah.
last year,
I miss
the Oilers were riding, like, I think they had killed like 46 out of 47 penalties in a
Going
row.
into the final.
Like,
Yep.
yeah, it was absolutely wild. So the fact that they are struggling a little bit in these playoffs, I know a lot of that was in one period, or was it one period? There were 3. Dallas had 3 power play goals in the third period, right?
Oh, yeah,
in game 1.
That. Yeah.
So that changes the math a little bit, but that's still nice for us. Like if they're gonna struggle to defend the power play, we're gonna draw some penalties. You know, we're gonna take some, but we're gonna draw some.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's my concern for sure. I feel like we take a lot of penalties. We took a lot the last couple games, a lot of silly ones that I felt put us, in a bit of danger. That we can't make those mistakes going into the finals. So that makes me nervous.
100%. You got a guy like Kachuk running around the ice. Like I'll give him credit too. He like gets people to goat into penalties, and he like goads them into making really bad mistakes. We got some good comments here that I want to get to, and specifically on the Oilers penalty kill. It's ranked 14th this postseason. So
66 is really not good.
Yeah, I mean that is like you're trying not to stop the puck at a certain point.
I feel like that's a little misleading, maybe.
We have A Mills 19 saying, "I just need an Alex pep talk, like we're down 2-0 against the Leafs."
Wait for my prediction.
We got wait for the prediction time. What's the one?
It'll come out of my. I pull it out of my ass.
What's the one thing you're concerned about most against Edmonton? I would put it right there with Connor McDavid, and it's just like the guy is a beast, and
the first line
at times can feel unstoppable. So. Honestly, like just shut down all of his options. Like you can hang on him all you want, but if you double triple team him, there's going to be so many passing options. He's a lethal playmaker. So I think if you just sort of watch all those lanes, but you can only do so much to contain him. You can only do that.
Shut him down.
I really think missing Zach Hyman is going to be a huge thing in the final against us. It didn't really matter when they were playing the Stars that last game, but missing Zach Hyman is going to be. I think that's going to be huge.
I want to move on since we have a whole rundown to get to, and we're just like still on part 1. Dynasty defining. Alex, this is at you. If the Panthers win a cup after 3 finals appearances, if somehow we pull this off,
back to back,
is this the beginning of a dynasty in South Florida?
I think it kind of already is a dynasty. I know a lot of people. I was doing some research. And a dynasty by the NHL and the Hall of Fame is defined as winning 4 cups or more, I think, in a small period of time, something like that. I think that's ridiculous.
Thank you, Edmonton and New York Islanders.
Yeah, exactly. I think Chicago Blackhawks, Los Angeles Kings, and the Pittsburgh Penguins were dynasties. They won 3 cups in a short period of time within 8 years, some were 5, whatever it was. I think that's a dynasty. I think even winning 2 cups is a dynasty. I looked up the definition of what a dynasty in sports means, not just hockey, just anything. And the definition is a sustained period of dominance in your sport with championship successes thrown in, but it doesn't fully come down to you have to win the championship. It's you know what I mean?
A period of dominance
for a while. Yeah. Exactly. I think the Florida Panthers have shown that since even 2022, if you want to go back to the President's Trophy. Yes, we got taken out in the second round by Tampa, but we were the President's Trophy winners. We had a down year with a transition from Paul Maurice. And then we made the playoffs and went to the final. And now we're in the final 3 years in a row. We won the cup last year. If we win the cup again this year, 100% I think we're a dynasty. And many teams around the league are completely ripping up their plans and basing it on us, like everyone was doing with the Blackhawks.
We have Emil's 19 saying this is a Panther dynasty. I'm going to push back just a little bit. Also, this is Cam tweeting from Chris Matos' account. Oh, sorry, I said your last name. This is like my dad going through my stepmom all over again. Wait, I think Dan should shave his head. These people are spending a lot of time together. I think Dan should shave his head and beard when we win the cup again. Hey, buddy, do you want to join me? Do you want to? We could have 2 baldies in the studio over here.
Look at all this.
Oh, come on.
How realistic the 2 is.
You know not to do that in front of me. Don't do that in front of me. Not while I'm doing a show. I need my confidence.
You guys are getting haircuts?
Yeah, I'm getting a haircut again, Alex.
Wait, someone just said someone got a fresh cut. Who got a fresh cut?
Take it off.
Dan has a fresh cut.
I got a fresh cut pretty recently. Yeah.
No, nobody wants that.
See, I wear the hat just for fun, not that I have to because of the what's underneath.
Same.
Sorry, Taylor.
Anyway, yes. Okay. If I can push back a little bit on the dynasty argument, the excitement of it. Yeah. I've ranted about this before, but I really want to repeat it. I want this team to change hockey. I think it already is. You see, even Rod Brindamore mentioning that his team, the Panthers are the standard, and he is sort of emulating his team based off our play style. Of course, chicken or the egg. But this is where hockey is going. We entered a period over the last several decades of daintiness and skill and speed, and that was really cool and led to a lot of beautiful goals. But myself believing as a hockey purist, I guess is what I would classify myself as. I love the physicality, I love the violence, and I love the intimidation factor and how that can play into the sport and the mental aspect of the sport. So I'm unsatisfied with 2 championships from this team to start calling ourselves a dynasty. I think with this window, I want us to be the best dynasty that ever existed. And I think that this team actually has the window to do it. Not saying that you guys don't.
The Canadians already got that.
I'm just saying that this team can change hockey and can become the greatest team that ever was assembled. And I think Bill Zito is capable of doing that. So I'm not settling for 2 cups. I don't think that makes us a dynasty. If we get knocked out second round next year, I'm still going to be quite upset about it, and I still wouldn't consider ourselves a dynasty even if we won this year. So I'll just say that.
I think we are already to a degree. I think I agree with Alex and disagree with you, Taylor. I mean, I don't think we know it yet. We can't say for certain we're a dynasty. If we fall off this year and we never make an appearance again for the next 10 years in the playoffs, we're not a dynasty. However, if we win this cup and we get to the final next year and we don't, and then we start to fall off and we stop making playoffs, we will have had a dynasty that we're already at the end of. I don't think I don't think you can confirm that a dynasty exists until it's already towards the end of the dynasty. because you need to see the longevity to know that it is or was a dynasty. I think if we win a cup this year, 3 straight finals appearances, I think it's a mini dynasty, but no more than a Blackhawks or something like that had a couple of great years. Not something that's an Islanders or an Oilers kind of a story. But what I want to see most by us proved, which we're doing already, like seeing Toronto get rid of the president, not really interested in retaining Mitch Marner. Like, I don't care about denying Connor McDavid a cup. I think he should go to a team that plays physical hockey. He should not be so selfish, and he should be a Barkov-esque star that toes
Maybe
the line.
Maybe go to a market without a state income tax or something like that. I don't know.
Well, okay, that's a different thing as well. But I think that I would be happy for him to win a Stanley Cup if it was with a team that went with the idea that this is how Stanley Cups are won, by building a deep budget, and I don't want to say budget, but where you've got lines of guys in the low millions who are all delivering goals as opposed to paying one line half of your cap. That's what I want to beat, is the theory that you can win a Stanley Cup by paying a single line $40 million. And all it takes is slick highlight reel goals as opposed to dirty, grinding, tough, attritional battles. And every time we take out a team and they go and rebuild, it's a win for the strategy in my book that we are pushing. So bigger than us, this is how hockey should be played. They were telling us this when they said we were soft as hell because we just had, Huberdeau going out trying to getting plays and getting bullied. They said, this is playoff hockey. You guys don't know that because you've never been here. Learn how to play playoff hockey. Now we're playing playoff hockey, and we're bastardizing the game because we're so dirty and the way we do it. That's the way the media will, the original 6 Northern Canadian media will play it out to be. But we're doing what they told us to do. They're sad that we're doing it, and they're not doing it very well. So if we beat Edmonton if we beat Edmonton, period, and they go out and they just trade a bunch of stars and get a bunch of picks and they turn over the GM, that will be a victory. If we win the Stanley Cup and they retain the entire team and they try the same thing again, yes, we won a second Stanley Cup. But they still believe it.
Their job.
I want
pain. I want their children to suffer.
I want management to get it through their heads that what they're doing doesn't work on those teams. Yeah. And if we can rout the league of the idea that slick star players are also championship players, then we've done our job. Then we can go back to having 30 years with no Stanley playoff appearances, but we'll have done something amazing, which is take.
You want us to?
No,
salt the earth, like you.
Yeah, I want us to Taylor's point. We're reinventing the game, and I want everybody to have to play this way. And the idea that your team deserves to win because you've got the best player on your team. I want that idea to be out of the league.
Because you know what it is. It takes it away from being a game like Steph Curry, like beautiful 3-pointers, like beautiful nice, like it turns it into a game of will as well. It's not just about being able to dangle around and putting a lot of effort into like your wrist curls every morning.
Right.
Like it becomes about how bad do you fucking want it.
That's why
a puck's going into the corner, who's going to win that battle? 9 times out of 10 it's a fucking Florida Panther, okay? And Dan, thanks. Now I want to go and get my lunch pail and go to fucking
it is a team sport after all. If Connor McDavid could win a Stanley Cup by himself, he would have done it. So
yeah, he nearly did last year.
Well, yeah, we need to stick to our guns, and we'll make sure.
Honestly,
it doesn't happen.
McDavid for Conn Smythe. I want him to win again so that we win the cup again.
Losing effort.
I want him to come out this time. I want him to come out on the ice this time.
Last year he didn't touch it, and then he'll lose again. So maybe if this time he touches it and touches the Conn Smythe, then he'll win next year. So
right.
Hypothetically, if we were to win in Edmonton while he loses but wins the Conn Smythe, do you think he'd come out for his home crowd?
I think he would.
I think so. I gotta say though, I don't think if they lose the cup again, even if he has 50 million points against us in this series and they still lose the cup, there is no shot the NHL is giving him the Conn Smythe again.
No way.
Years in a row,
No.
after losing the fucking cup, it's going to be Bob or Barkov. They're just going to give it to them by default. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
They're not doing that 2 years in a row.
Okay, so we're gonna save this for our predictions in a few minutes, but I want to have the Conn Smythe discussion. So guys, think about what your answer would be so far, and also not just like who deserves the Conn Smythe now, but like what you predict out of the series will result in a Conn Smythe winner. You know, who is gonna go above and beyond and be the potential Conn Smythe winner. Now, do we have our CPA available? Because we got to get to taxes soon. Everyone just keeps making these ridiculous statements about Florida and that as a tax state. We want to bring in Tevin, who is a CPA and has worked with former NHL players and understands specifically how the tax systems work. So, how you doing, Tev? Can you hear us? All right, can you check your microphone real quick? Yeah, see if you can turn on that mic. No problem. We'll hang here for a moment. You can advance the rundown too if you want.
Oh, I thought I did.
Guess not.
There we go.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Biz with his 1040 in the palm trees.
It's so weird because Biz was like, he was kind of one of the few people on the panel pumping us up during like not the Toronto series. And then all of a sudden, now he's whining about taxes. It's, I don't know. He's
I like Biz.
Well, you know what?
Biz.
You know what?
I think it's funny.
Hold on, we're gonna get into this in a bit, boys.
Table
Guys,
it.
chill. Courtney, all the boys, we need to get to Tevin here.
Tev.
Tevin, I know everyone has a lot of thoughts on Biz.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's up, man? Biz said some wild shit the other day. He's saying that, the league needs to take a look at that. Whatever. I'm not gonna make this about opinion. You're bringing facts. You're bringing numbers. So I asked Tevin to pull. Can you first off tell us a little bit about your experience and why, what the real difference is nominally between like a $1 million contract in Florida and a place like Toronto?
Sure. Well, yeah, basically, I specialize, my company does at least in cross-border accounting. So that's kind of like our bread and butter is like people moving from Canada to places like, Florida and whatnot, and just vice versa, maybe, whatever the scenario may be. So I'm pretty familiar with this type of stuff.
And that's like great.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted to have you on because, there's also a lot of travel involved as a hockey player. So I have this chart we can pull up that you put together of a $1 million salary. Can you kind of talk us through what we're looking at here?
Sure. All right, let's see. All right, guys. So basically, we're looking at the Panthers first, right? $1 million.
Yep.
So like 31st, you're going to be in the top. I don't know. Do you have the other graphic I showed that showed the tax brackets?
No,
Basically, that's when you're in the highest bracket of income, which is roughly like $250,000 and higher. You're going to be in like a 37% federal tax bracket.
Right.
So that's what you're paying on your income. So that's kind of like what you're seeing there. And, of course, Florida, there's no state or provincial tax due.
And then comparing that to Toronto, what are you looking at there?
Yeah, Toronto, is just an expensive place to live in general. So you're paying state tax as well as some federal tax.
So nominally, and what you put here is that for if a contract worth $1 million with the Florida Panthers, you're going to be paying in taxes. You're going to be paying $370,000 in taxes. And let's scooch on
Correct.
over. And Toronto, $461,600. Now this is a meager difference of less than $100,000 between the locations on $1 million contract. And I also have the $5 million contract.
Some would say that's close to 10%.
I wouldn't say it's meager, although what's interesting to me is that the federal tax rate is lower in Canada.
It is.
But it's that provincial tax. I mean, 13%.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, because they
exactly.
know
That's
every
what gets
province
you.
is going to screw you. So for
And,
a $5 million
Ontario
contract,
actually. Sorry, just to cut
Yeah.
you off, but that's
Yeah, go
actually
ahead.
one of the lower ones.
Really?
If you saw Quebec, you wouldn't want to see Quebec actually.
So we're also seeing here for $5 million
Don't trust the French.
salary that you got $1.85 million if somebody were playing with Florida. That's the taxes due on a $5 million contract. And then also here for Toronto,
Yeah.
2.3. So you're looking at a difference of around, what is that, $500,000 on a $5 million contract?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now-
exactly. So you can see as you're making more money, it kind of affects you a little more. The bigger contract guys, I guess.
Which I would say like $5 million is probably like a lot of these free agents are getting around that sum of money. Now, the argument that you're hearing about, I want to know what you personally think about this argument you hear about, Florida teams get this advantage tax status, so, they should be, I don't know, they should be hampered in some way because the other teams in their locations have decided to have higher taxes. What's your take on that?
Yeah, honestly,
Because you're a hockey fan.
Yeah, I'm a hockey fan. I'm realistic, You can't I don't think you can really penalize them for that, honestly. Like the laws of their own, the place they live in. You can't really I don't know how much you can use that as an argument, And also, being unbiased, wasn't a huge problem when the teams weren't good.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
28 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Court.
I was just saying, Tev, are you saying the Panthers are good?
Tevin it's conveniently just lost his connection. He was not able to hear the question if the Panthers were excellent. But Tev, that was great. We really appreciate the breakdown and you bringing the numbers. I think the argument that we are trying to make, and also a lot of other people, is like each team is representative of the community it's coming from, right? These are regional teams. That's what we've decided for all major sports is what we're going to do. And a guy like Tkachuk, if he played in Toronto, yeah, he would lose more on salary. Could you imagine the endorsement money that man would make? Guys like McDavid
100%.
and Austin Matthews make $5 million annually just from endorsements. So South Florida, listen, hair cuttery is not going to pay all the bills, okay? Not as it would in Toronto.
Baptist Health.
Yeah. But anyway, Tevin, we're going to let you go. We really appreciate you bringing
Thanks,
the
Tev.
numbers. And we love you, even though you're a Toronto fan.
Hey,
doing
always
that?
here to support.
There you go. But anyway, we're going to move on to, actually, do you guys have any thoughts? I'm sure you guys got
Can we-
Wait, I have one more. This doesn't even
Me first.
We haven't even talked about signing bonuses. Like someone like Austin Matthews, his signing bonus is taxed in Arizona, right? Because that's where he lives. Isn't that how that works? And then his game checks, obviously
Bring him back.
they're still paying more
No,
in
he left.
taxes, but there's so many different, how tax codes are. They're so complicated that people get paid a lot of money just to understand them as their entire career.
But also, it's so silly
There's-
because all of these players who are complaining about it, they technically could have residency in Florida. If you want to bitch about it, then take advantage of it. And then the contracts are front loaded anyway. You get your, the big check in the beginning of the year, which is usually sent. I think it's is it August when the contract starts? Whatever it is, it's off season. So
July.
just do it. Why bitch?
Yeah.
Do it or shut up.
I love that.
Boom. Got him.
I was gonna
That
say,
deserved a boom for sure.
Yeah. Tev brought up a great point that it's only because we're winning now. Only because
Yes.
we're good now, it's
Yes.
becoming a talking point. I think the reason why people I know Biz is doing it just for he just wants the interactions. He knows what to do to get people riled up. He's funny. You know what I mean? But a lot of the fans
Worked
that
on
really get into this,
Funny?
get into this stuff and are really upset about this, they're just mad because they are Toronto fans who support a team full of players that are trying to gauge the franchise for the most money that they can get. They can't stand that there is a team in Florida that all these players are so happy playing here. They're so happy playing with each other. They're so happy winning together that they are willing to take discounts on their contracts. Every single player on our team has a discount.
Right.
Every single one. Reinhart is not worth 8.3 or 8.6, whatever he's getting money. I'm sorry, he's not. He's not. And Bennett just came out of a report.
He means he's
Way
worth
more,
more.
way more,
He's
way
worth
more.
way
Oh,
more.
I thought you were
Way
saying
more,
he's
way more.
not worth
No.
Oh my god.
No. Barkov,
Watch out, man.
Another example. Barkov is not worth 10 million. He's way more than 10 million. That's crazy.
Barkov set the standard.
Exactly. Everybody has to be lower than Barkov.
Is getting paid 5.75 million.
Forsling? That's what you're talking about. That's insane. Forsling, 5.75 for 6.
And this summer, when we start getting the reports, because just the other day we got a report that Bennett his preference is to stay in Florida. When he takes a contract for like 7x7 or some crazy number that everyone's gonna be like, oh, I thought he was the $10 million this. It's going to be because these players love to play here and they love to play with each other. They're not Mitch Marner just trying to F over his franchise and get as much money as he can while he's 24 years old, regardless of the cups, regardless of the wins, regardless of the shit he is going to get from the crazy media over there. He just wants his bag and he wants to run. Matthews does the same thing. All these guys are doing the same thing. Everyone on our team could be making way more than they are, but they don't. And that's why we are that's a huge reason why we are a good team. And it's not because they're saving $1 million or whatever, $2 million, $3 million on their freaking no state income tax. It's crazy to think crazy.
It's exactly the point I was making earlier, that you can't win a Stanley Cup if you're paying a single line $40 million. And the Panthers know that. So not one of them is going to say, I want $14 million, because if every one of them was getting paid what Toronto would pay them, we'd have a quarter of them, and we wouldn't have a Stanley Cup winning team.
I'll tell you what we wouldn't have. We wouldn't have Louis Ryan and Lundell and Marchand on our third line, who is better than half the league's first line and second line.
Now, this whole argument, I mean, it's just definitely cope. It's like, how can we explain why they're better than us if they've got cheaper? Okay, so there must be because the only answer is that the best players players have to make the most money. So how are these guys the best players and they're not making the most money? Oh, actually, secretly they are, because they're taking home more of it. That's the answer. Matter of fact, you know, the real answer is you don't have to make the most money to be really good players. You can still win Stanley Cups and not make as much money. And I watched the hockey guy, who is the legitimate, unbiased source for all this information.
He's
Toronto
great. Check out
fans
his
love
YouTube
him.
I like him
YouTube
too.
channel
He's
if you
great,
can.
Yep.
Go to the hockey guy if you don't watch him on YouTube. He's very calm analysis. The guy just loves the game, and he loves the off ice part of the game too, of how the teams are built and understanding the players and things like that. And he knows everything, so he'll review every game. And he did a video a few days ago, looking at every single player on the Panthers roster, and the entire time, you know, and he's not a Panthers fan. He's a traditionalist hockey guy from traditional markets or whatever, and he was debunking the myth that we have players that are undervalued because they play in Florida and they get to take home more money, and that's why we're winning, by looking at every single player. So first of all, Barkov, $10 million. You can't walk into the office and say you're better than Barkov, so therefore you cannot make more than $10 million. Perfect, bar set. But then you look at every single player there, four draft picks, like maybe a dozen or less than a dozen trades,
waiver wires,
trade acquisition. Gus Forsling was a waiver wire. Isn't that crazy? And then all the guys that we got. So we got traded a lot of these guys, right? Obviously, Buffalo didn't think Sam Reinhart would be a 10 million plus player. Was it Buffalo that? Yeah, he came from Buffalo, right? He wouldn't be more than that.
Yeah.
So what? So they knew something and they were colluding with us to give us a really good value player that was going to suddenly rise. We traded Eetu Luostarinen, and we got him for Vinny Trocheck.
Yeah.
Right?
Back in the day, yeah.
Traded for Sam Bennett as well.
We traded for Sam Bennett from Cal. Yeah, exactly. Ask anyone.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Ask anyone. Even still today, these original by Courtney, these original six people would say. These original, I think I actually have the 4-box ready for this exact case.
There's a 4-box. All right.
So even these traditional market people would say, still to this day, Vinny Trocheck is better than Eetu Luostarinen. We lost that deal. Yet, Eetu Luostarinen has a Stanley Cup and might have two, and Vinny Trocheck doesn't. So these people that are supposedly these stars that are being paid less than they could get paid because Florida's taxes are great, nobody wanted them when they were up for trade, when they were up in free agency. Nobody would have said that we got a
Yeah.
great deal. Nobody said that a deal was turned down by them for more in these mass market areas so that they could get a cheaper deal here because of the taxes. It's only now. But nobody knew these fucking names or had any belief or faith in these people when they came to Florida. And Bill Zito figured it out. And they came here because they wanted to win. And they took deals. You know, some of them took deals, some of them didn't took deals. We've got guys in the fourth line and stuff for around $1 million, and that's a fair price. But they're here to win Stanley Cups, and they're doing it. And nobody knew their names before they were Florida Panthers.
Damn,
So
switch to the 5-box mid-rant. Listen, like, hold on. But, like, I think the excuse about the taxes might be one of the most pathetic excuses I've ever heard to why a team is successful and your hometown team is not. That is
pathetic.
Such a lack of accountability for your own GM, for your own drafting, for your entire scouting department. The Panthers have excellence across the board in all of those categories. And the idea that you're pulling in taxes, that's your line of defense. That it's extremely pathetic. And I have a comment here.
They're trying to undercut our success. Wait, but does Courtney have a comment? She was raising her hand.
I think she does. Go ahead.
If that was a valid reason, I want to know why I have cried annually over the Miami Dolphins.
Great question.
Are there even?
Are you
any...
Darius Rucker? Are you the Dolphins make you cry?
Who has signed with us as a free agent from another team who's like a major contributor? Almost everyone has been someone we've drafted or traded for. Or
Verhaeghe we did sign. Verhaeghe we signed after he was on the fourth line on Tampa.
That's true, but like
under the radar.
You know,
very few.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. I know
he was making like three or four million. You know, he was like just a guy who was going to slot in. We never had expectations for him.
Yeah,
you know, like all of our star players.
He was like the next
were acquired
Vetrano
through the draft or
tryout.
trade.
Like, maybe.
Oh, dude, I miss Frank Vetrano.
Frank the Tank.
But you know, we would just pick up guys like that. You know what I mean? And then
development. Like I also this entire argument. Even let's go down the path of like taxes really matter and that's a really important factor. Like let's go down that and just agree with everyone for the sake of the argument and actually follow that along. This is a regional sport, as I was saying. So this is us saying, okay, this is Florida, a no income tax state. Okay.
Year-round sunshine.
How are our roads? How are our public facilities? Now we're going against Toronto. Congratulations, you are a different city. Your players live in your city. Do you, by having higher taxes and creating a comfortable living environment, produce a better and well-equipped hockey team? Like that can be a reasonable discussion, but like Florida's winning out. Florida is doing better, and that's just. It's city against city, and that's all this is. It's city against city, and even if you do make the tax discussion, that's fine. If you don't like it, like your city can drop the
you still have to
taxes for
identify
their
the players. You have to
you still have to find the guys.
Players. Yeah.
These weren't stars when they were in mass market areas. I mean, I don't know if Buffalo or Calgary, but more than people would call Florida, right? They weren't stars there. And also, we've had no in-state income tax forever.
They were all stars that were struggling. Like Ryan
exactly.
Bennett, they were top draft picks. They were always had a lot of promise, but they were struggling for many years.
We know the famous Reinhardt tweet.
They weren't producing.
Highest paid.
That's the best tweet.
Oh man, hindsight.
We got a comment here from Sasha directly on this point. Florida's tax codes were never brought up during the Lightning's run too. It's ridiculous not to get our well-deserved flowers from analysts. Well, couldn't agree more. And she says, love Biz, but cannot trust him. Ha ha.
Here's the thing. Yeah, we've why weren't we good 30 years ago forever if everybody wanted to come to Florida to get lower tax rate salary, contracts? Why weren't we the best team then?
We fucking sucked forever, dude.
That's where this whole conversation, we can already move on to the next topic. This conversation could already be done because it's answered by when we sucked. Nobody
cared.
It. Yep. And we sucked for 30 years, for so many years, other than a little sprinkles of success here and there where we didn't win the cup. Yeah. Now we won the cup. Now we're really good. And it's a big deal. It's only when we are doing good is it a big deal. It's ridiculous.
When Marco Sturm is your playoff hero, like, you know, and that's your only glimmer of hope in like 2 decades. It's been rough.
Versteeg, Fleischmann, and Weiss.
That's a top line for you, baby.
God.
Give me that verbatim.
Do you remember Marcel Gotch tying the game in Game 7 in 2012?
Oh my God. Literally. That was huge. I lost my mind. Stephen Weiss stepping
was it
up.
Weiss? It was Weiss. Yeah, Gotch did something and then Weiss did something. Oh my God.
I think Gotch tied it up and then Weiss got the winner or something. And A Mills 19 says people are just mad we are physical. Steffi says I feel like players sign with the Florida Panthers to retire. For example, Scotty Upshaw and unfortunately Brian Campbell did not retire with us. That was one real special player, but
Jaromir Jagr in a way.
Real special.
Yager played well for us.
Yeah,
but he was a mercenary at that point in his career. He had played for so many teams. He finished as a Calgary Flame. I think he played half his season.
Oh yeah, like literally like 18 games. Gun for hire. Will, do we have anyone in the waiting room? Fans, by the way, you can join.
Nobody in the waiting room.
You can join the show if you hop in the if you look in the description. You can click on that link and you can type in the password cat and you can join this show. We will let you in. Even if you're a troll, even if you're a Ryan Keelan, we will let you in and you can say your piece. But isn't
even a Ryan Keelan.
While we opened that invitation, let's get to our predictions. It's time for our predictions. And I know everyone has some thoughts here. I'm not going to save myself for last, so I'm just going to spit mine out right now. I say Cats in 6. I say we win this one at home, and it's going to be the greatest thing ever. Why don't we go left? Anyway.
Yeah, Chris first. Clockwise.
Which way is clockwise?
All right.
That's counterclockwise.
Is Chris first?
Chris
is no.
Okay.
Chris is first.
What?
Yeah.
Chris would be first in the clockwise.
In the program feed.
Yes.
Yeah, clockwise.
Go ahead.
Program feed.
So I have a couple of things I want to address first. A dynasty to me is you got to have three cups. That's my opinion because I don't want to say that the Tampa Bay Lightning from 2020 to 2022 were a dynasty. COVID years, it's weird.
COVID cups.
Yeah, COVID cups.
2 COVID cups.
So the thing that scares me the most is about McDavid in general is not just his physical ability, it's the storylines. And I'm not saying this in the NHL is rigged kind of way. It's just like history might not repeat itself, but it rhymes. So who are the last 2 great ones? You know, it's really Crosby and Gretzky. I mean, I guess Ovi, but that's a different situation. Crosby and Gretzky both won their first cups by beating the team who had beaten them in the Stanley Cup the year prior. And part of me is like, they are a team of destiny. McDavid is a player of destiny, and they're finally going to get it done. That said, I bought tickets for Game 6, so Cats in 6.
There you go. Love that.
I love it, dude. I'm looking at it. It's a lot of money, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
You're not going to regret that. Alex.
Okay, so last year, before the final started, when we were taking care of business against the Rangers, Oilers were playing the Stars. And we didn't have the podcast going, but I had other friends. And I kept saying to my other friends, I kept saying, I don't want to play the Stars. I'm scared of them. I think they're really good. I want to play the Oilers because we are going to kill them. We are going to sweep them. We're going to kill them. We were 1 game away from sweeping them and proving what I thought right. I thought we were the better team. I thought we were going to sweep them. 1 game away. This year, they got a little bit better. They lost Hyman. We got a little bit better. Last year, piggybacking off of what I said in shutting down McDavid topic, I said that I think we were on our way to sweeping, and then we got very nervous. I'm going to say Cats in 5. I think that I would not be surprised if we're up 3-0 again. I think we are the much better team. I think we're way deeper than them. I think we're going to shut them down. They have not played a team like us. They are just like Toronto. They're a little bit more physical this year in the playoffs, but Zach Hyman was the number 1 player by a long shot on their team that was being the most physical, and he's gone. He just had surgery on his hand. He's gone. Skinner is a good goalie, but we are a team that doesn't get out-goalied anymore. We used to. We don't anymore. We will always find a way. There might be one game where we get out-goalied, but we will always find a way that next one. And if we need to win 2-1, we'll win 2-1, just like we did in the biggest game of all time, Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final. We'll do that. Or we'll win 1-0. Doesn't matter. We'll find a way. I really think that we're a much deeper team. I think we have an extremely hungry, my hated player of all time, Brad Marchand, extremely hungry Brad
Love
Marchand.
that guy.
That is not going to he is not going to lose a cup. He's not going to miss this chance. He missed it against us 2 years ago, and he was crying on the bench. He had a chance to take us out on a breakaway with 4 seconds left, and then we won that game in overtime to go to 3-2 and then go to Game 6 and then go to Game 5, all those things. He's not going to let it happen. I will not be surprised if we're up 3-0 again going into Game 4. And I think they'll squeak out a win. I think McDavid will be McDavid and he'll get a win out of it. But we are not going to be nervous for the next 2 games after that like we were last year. We're going to shut them down and we're going to win in 5.
Wow, that was very, very.
Yeah, wasn't someone asking for that speech earlier?
That was the hype up. That was
speech?
the pep talk that I love to hear.
Oh, that wasn't a pep talk. That's just my.
That's
how you went at the Leafs after we were down 2-0. So I think that's what that viewer was looking for.
Alex and his undying loyalty to this franchise, and he has had his heart broken for decades. I've been there. I've watched it. I've seen him walk home in the rain, in the dark. While getting bumped into by opposing fans that just won.
That guy?
And he was like, woo! And like fucking knock you on the shoulder, and you're like, life fucking sucks. Dan, you got a Cats in 6, you got a Cats in
Courtney
6,
first.
you got a Cats in 5, and we got Court, who's going to give her prediction now.
I don't know how to follow that. Okay, I'm going to go actually the opposite. I think we're going to go down in the beginning. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about that. I think it might be really similar to the Maple Leafs run that we did. I think we're going to go down 1 or 2 games, honestly. We're not the comeback Cats for nothing. I think ultimately Cats in 6. If we go to 7, I don't feel great. To be so real with you,
Guys.
I don't feel great if we go to 7.
With McDavid on the other side. I mean, what is your prediction though? What is your belief? Cats
I'm so scared of Alex. Like he's like so ready.
Yeah, I know. He's terrifying when he has a point, you know?
Cats in 6.
Cats in 6.
Hell yeah.
Sorry,
I was
Alex.
just gonna
You
add,
look like
if
you were
you're-
like drooling.
And I
I
need
just
Chris
wanted
and
to
Lisa
add-
there again. That was my thing. Wasn't even last year, like us winning. I was like, oh my god, Chris and Lisa are there. Like I was hysterical over that. So they're a good luck charm. If they're there, we're good.
I was going to say, if it does go to 7, we're going to finally see if it was Game 7 in Edmonton, would they win? Do you remember Jeff Skinner's comments
Yeah.
a couple of episodes ago,
yeah.
a while ago, earlier in the year? He said that if it was in Game 7 in Edmonton, they would have won. So we'll see
That's
this
so
year.
true. Yeah.
We'll see.
I
Let's go.
forgot
Let's
about
find
that. Wow.
Taylor's now he's really rethinking his whole thing.
I want us
He's
to
like,
win
we have
there.
to win in 6.
Yeah. No, that I forgot about that comment, man. That was cheeky. Dan the man.
Well, so much has been said already that I'll just say Cats in 6.
Wow. We have some comments. We have some predictions coming in here.
Okay,
and
let's
is going to continue his answer.
No. Well, I'm gonna just a producerial note. I think we're gonna have Steffi joining here shortly.
Oh, really?
It looks like it might just be audio only, but we'll see.
Let's give it a try.
But let's hear. I'll bring up those comments while we get Steffi
so
in.
we have M Rags. I believe this is
I know who
Matthew,
M Rags is.
and he says Cats in 5. We also got Sasha, who's been watching all episode. Thanks for watching, Sasha. She says Cats in 7 again, and then it looks like some like
Sneezing,
take that again.
grinning,
yeah,
I don't know
like
if I
basically
can take a Game
nerves.
7 again.
nerves, I guess. Yeah.
Cats in 5.
I think
Hashtag house
House
money.
money.
House
Okay.
money.
Ryan Keelan
sick.
says Oilers in 7.
What's up,
Of
Ryan?
course he did. Jerk.
Why doesn't Ryan come on?
Hey,
Ryan,
that
get
guy.
on.
Now take his photo down. He's out.
Ryan, get on.
Actually, if you look at the photo, I actually have Alex's beer can covering Ryan's face, so he's actually not in that photo.
Aaron is right there. You never looked until you were in a car with Alex driving after a loss.
I mean, Alex after a loss was like the most depressed. It was like a Coldplay album. It was
no
just
music
sad.
in the car.
Yeah, you
We're
just
all
play like we
quiet.
put on like Mumford and Sons' Wilder Mind, and we would just sit in silence. It was really sad.
Oh my god, that's freaking funny.
Alaska checking in. We have a viewer from Alaska.
Hello.
907 King
Florida
says
in
Florida in
six.
Oh,
six.
that's awesome.
Thanks for watching. And I agree,
cool.
Florida in 6. Maybe you can get down to some sunny weather from Alaska for that game. Cats in 6 in front of an insane home crowd. Mariko,
that.
I love you. Thank you
Meow.
for
Rico or
watching.
Sean?
Exactly.
Yeah, what is Sean?
Yeah, that's true. Is that? Well, I still love my dad, but like, I maybe I wouldn't say it as emphatically maybe as I would to Mariko because she's the sweetest person in the world. Yeah, do we have Steph joining the show?
Let's see.
Steph.
Steffi, can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Steph?
Maybe?
All right, that's gonna do it. Welcome. Thanks for watching.
No.
Oh, we actually got some more
We
comments.
had
rolling
Steffi
in.
earlier, but I can't hear her now.
It's all good.
Go back
Well,
to the
we got some comments here
See if we
that
can
we're
figure
going to
that
get to. Hope they've learned they can't win letting off the gas. Play hard every game, especially from the start. Oilers will not quit. I saw this in game 6 versus the Leafs. I hear Steph. Steph, are you there?
Oh, I was muted. Sorry.
It's all good. It's
We
all
got
good.
you.
Welcome
Welcome.
to the show. How's it going? Welcome to the Pucking Panthers Podcast.
Thank you.
So what
Thank
is
you
your
for-
what's your prediction? What are you thinking? And by the way, thank you for joining because you've been watching since the very beginning of, back when Ryan, Alex, and I got this thing started. How does it feel to like see it back up and going again?
I like it. Thank you for bringing it back. I was shocked when I saw you guys were back on social media on YouTube.
We just thought it would be so fun. I mean, it did look kind of lame. Like after we win a cup, we like restarted it.
We're the bandwagons.
We look like bandwagoners.
Bandwagon.
Are you nervous going into the final, Steph?
I kind of am because probably you guys know more than I do. I don't remember a hockey team went back to back like that. I know they've gone back to back in finals, but not winning. So I'm kind of nervous.
Well,
I have an answer for you. The last time a team beat the same team in the finals 2 years in a row was in 1977 and 78. The Canadians beat the Bruins.
That must have really sucked for the Bruins. They're like, and that's like their biggest rival. Like, was that when there was only like 6 teams or no? That
was right after expansion.
There was more. Yeah.
Right. Well, Steph, we got you on for a couple more minutes here. Do you have a prediction? Do you think we take care of the Oilers 7, 6, 5? Don't tell me the Oilers are gonna win. What are you thinking?
Of course you're not gonna win. I was thinking about the 2014 Stanley Cup Finals with
LA Kings and Rangers?
LA Kings and Rangers
Yeah.
when LA Kings won overtime game 7. So I want a game 6 or game 7 overtime winner Panthers. And Brad
Marchand?
Marchand.
Oh, she's calling.
Oh yeah.
She is calling a Brad Marchand OT winner. Why don't we call it Game 7? Do you want to say Game 6 or Game 7?
6.
It doesn't matter because it's still going to be heart-wrenching game.
Yeah, that's
I don't.
true.
Or even if we're up a series, like we'll only be up a series obviously game 5 or 6, but still, it still would be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like I was literally like hunched over in agony the entire Game 7. Steph, thanks so much for your bold prediction thanks for joining the show. It's so nice to hear your voice.
Thanks for being in the chat, Steph.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been great to
Thank
see
you,
you.
guys.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Come
you.
back
you
sometime
later.
soon. We'll see you again.
Thanks,
I
Steph.
will.
Oh,
Go Cats.
that's a blast from the past there, Alex. I mean, that was
Yeah.
Steph was all in the comments of the original Pucking Panthers podcast back in 2015. Or was it, when did we do it? 2015?
I think so. I think it was around the time where we made the playoffs the other time in 2016. I think.
Oh, and we lost the
So we just look like bandwagon or something.
I know.
we only bring it up when we're making the playoffs.
If we lose this cup, this podcast is done. We're coming back when we win again. Okay. Fine. Unless we have anyone waiting.
Nobody else.
What's that?
Nobody else.
Nobody else.
I do have a final thought on my prediction. It's not long. It's just I just want to say, because I know I'm sounding very cocky and very like an asshole a little bit for the Edmonton fans maybe listening. Listen, there is a big thing about playing the same team back to back. I mean, you just said it. It hasn't been done that a team beat the same team. There is a huge factor that I'm ignoring completely, and it's the revenge factor, and they are so much more hungrier than us. They are.
Yeah.
We won the cup, and I understand that our players are different than other teams. We are always hungry for a win. But they are so much hungrier than us. They are us in 2024 when we lost the cup to Vegas, and you have that shot of Ekblad looking out and almost tears, and looking out, they have that now. It's seared in my brain.
They know what
3
it takes.
seconds to go. Stanley Cup champions. And then Connor McDavid on the bench with his helmet falling off, picking his hair up. That's ingrained in my brain. And trust me, it's ingrained in his. Yeah. That's what they have over us. And that's the only thing that I'm a little nervous about. Other than that, top to bottom, we're a better team. And I think we should handle this. We haven't even mentioned Seth Jones. Our defense is so much better.
Right.
Come on.
Talk about another guy taking advantage of low taxes who nobody said was good 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. They have Evan Bouchard and then who? You know what I mean? I get it. Matthias Ekholm is a good guy. I get it. But it's like we have Ekblad, Forsling, Mikkola, and Seth Jones as our top 4 defensemen. Look at their second line and their third line missing Hyman. We're just a very better team. Yeah. But just to
revenge factor.
You don't like a scary captain?
That's what I was gonna say. That's just to not sound like
back.
a complete asshole. They do have that revenge factor going, and I am scared about that.
They're gonna be foaming at the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And Conn
Bob
Smythe
is going to be better this year, though. Like, there's no way. I don't know what Bob's numbers were last year, but he was in like the 800s for save percentage. Like we won last year with a negative goal differential. Yeah. Like I don't.
Conn Smythe was him. The Conn Smythe was his.
We literally watched him lose the Conn Smythe in games 4 through 6. Like
exactly.
I know he wasn't in for all of Game 4, but we lost 8 to whatever, and
8-1, then I think it was, right?
Yeah, 8-1. Then we gave up 5. Actually, I have a glass that says it. Then we gave up 5 2 games in a row. So 18 goals over 3 games. Yeah, that's not gonna happen again.
Yeah, I mean, if we're thinking about the Conn Smythe, and I mean Bob let it slip last time. I think there's a lot of people that consider him to be the top choice going into this series. But I don't only want to talk about who's likely to get it based on what we've seen so far, but also consider the factors in this series. Alex, who are you looking at to potentially, based on their prior performance this playoffs and also what you expect of them this series, to possibly, from the Panthers, come home with the Conn Smythe trophy?
You know who's having a great playoff and who I would love to see win the Conn Smythe is Sam Bennett. Ooh. He is having an amazing playoff. And also for betting odds, he's 30 to 1. So that's a great one to take. He has 10 goals. I think he's leading both teams in goals because their top goal scorer is Corey Perry with 7, I want to say. Or maybe I'm wrong there. I don't know. I know Connor McDavid has 6 goals, but Bennett has 10 goals in the playoffs right now. He has a lot. He's coming up big in every single round, and he's going to come up big in this round too. Nothing phases him. You know what I mean? So Sam Bennett would be a great win. Now, who I really think is going to win? I think it's going to be Bob. I think we're going to win the cup, and I think they're going to give it to Bob. And I think that's the easy answer, the easy guy to get it. But I would love Sam Bennett.
You don't have to say that to me twice, man. I fucking love Sam Bennett. I love the way he plays.
to give him the cup also after Toronto can't get him out of their mind, and they're still talking about the little slap on the face that they whatever. You know what I mean? That would be kind of funny. That would be kind of funny.
Chris, what are you expecting? Conn Smythe, Bob. I mean, I would go with the 3 Bs here as options here: Barkov, Bennett, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it depends on how it plays out. If Bob puts on a masterclass and it's his, if it's just a general team win and no one stood out from the Oilers, then I think Barkov could end up getting it as, almost like, I don't want to call it a lifetime achievement award, but it's like, who else do we give it to? I like the whole team's good. Give it to the
another
captain.
King Clancy award. It's another leadership
player.
award.
Exactly.
Such a
But
good player.
what I would love to see is, I think our strongest, like where we're going to be able to take advantage of the Oilers more than anywhere else is when the 2 third lines match up, kind of like what we saw earlier in the playoffs, where our third line is just so much better than theirs, in my opinion. I could see someone like Brad Marchand racking up 10 points in 6 or 7 games. Maybe if he does get that overtime game winner that Steffi mentioned.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand.
We were talking about
Smythe, I'll buy
and a
his
Panthers
jersey.
sweater.
We were talking about the
Brad
3
Marchand
Bs.
wins the Conn Smythe, I'll buy a Brad Marchand jersey.
There you go.
We
We should be talking about the 4 Bs. Brad, Bennett, Barkov.
Yeah,
of course.
I like it.
I mean, well, that's the thing about how many the point totals so far this year. It's like, Court, it feels like anybody could just step up in a big way in the finals and sort of take that lead. Do you have anyone that you're thinking of?
So I wish I could say right now.
I know.
Should we hit the rhinoceros again, the animation?
Yeah, let's hit it one more time just for old time's sake.
Bing, bang, boom, there it goes. Conn Smythe.
Court, what are you thinking? Who's getting the Conn Smythe, and why or why not is it right?
Well, after that, Rhino.
Yeah,
I do think he deserved it last year. Like that's really disappointing to me, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get over that. I really think, not just because I'm in love with him and he's my future baby daddy, he really deserves.
Put it right to Taylor's face.
Big bomb on Taylor.
I mean, I'd be pretty proud, to lose my girl to a Florida Panther,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that.
Taylor sounded like me after a loss, walking out of the stadium.
Exactly.
getting
Hello,
shoved by
darkness,
Court.
my old friend. Sorry, go
Getting
ahead.
a shove.
And then I have a boring answer for this year. I do think Bob deserves it, and not only because of this year. Like, I just think the accumulation of the last 3 years, it would kind of blow my mind if anybody else got it, because we wouldn't be here, truthfully, if it weren't for him. Like, of course, Barky, like, behind the scenes, like, Chucky, like, they are, like, the morale of the team. And I think without their spine, that we probably wouldn't be here. But, when it comes to, truthfully, the games, it's Bob. We've had different backup goalies, and we still end up here. So my answer would be Bob, and that's because of the last 36 months.
I agree, and I also don't think it's boring. I think it's like actually a crowning achievement on an incredible career, and like, if there's a guy that deserves it, it's a guy who's been like beaten up over his $10 million contract for 4 years, and then just ignores it all, and just like, even though he probably even hated that contract, no matter how much money it was, like, still willed his team. There were games where we were in the playoffs in the last 3 years where we did not have it, and he had it, and he's the reason we won.
Yeah.
To your point, we would not be here without Bob.
And I'm nervous about the conversations we're going to be having this time next year when we're coming up at the end of his contract end. I don't think Vanacek is it, and I think that's a conversation for next week that I'm super excited to get into. But yeah.
Let's
Bob.
get Spence back.
Yeah. Well, and
I
Bob.
would love Spency back, and thank God Ryan's not here, because he would be slamming his laptop.
Nice.
Bob, even like outside of the actual, the amazing saves he makes, part of the reason we're able to play such an aggressive style is because the players know that Bob is back there. Like
Yeah.
we've
Yep.
talked about it before, how differently our structure looks when someone like Spencer Knight was in net. We just play a different style. We try to protect the goalie more. Bob, we don't protect him at all. Like we hang him out to dry constantly. And honestly, I hope we learned a small lesson from last year's finals, not to dry him out that much. But
you're talking about shot wise though. We protect him physically, but shot wise, you're saying.
Oh
yeah.
Okay. I
mean,
just want to
like,
clarify that. Yeah.
Because we know he can take it.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. We'll pinch aggressively, or we'll.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you touch Bob, even if it's
Yeah,
like,
you're good.
even
I
if
just
it's
wanted
our
to
fault,
clarify that for people listening. I know what you meant, but I just wanted to.
we'll push a forward into Bob, and
then
as
beat
soon
him
as
up.
he touches Bob, we beat this.
What the fuck's your problem, bro?
Why would you do that?
Ride for Dawn. All right, Dan.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. It's hard. I think like I'd like it to be Bob, and I think the adage is that good goaltending wins championships, and it's true. Even when the saves are not as remarkable as they can be, they're saves, and play gets stopped, and you could it depends on how lucky was the chance, how good was the chance, how good was defense keeping him back. Bob, I feel, was in such great contention last year because he had some tremendous saves last year. I mean, he had what we all consider to be the greatest save of all time against the Tampa Bay Lightning when he did the old touch of life from God to Adam.
Bobbery.
Yeah. He hasn't had those this year. Now, I think if anyone deserves it, if that trophy can be awarded with, and I'm sure the voting, the context is impossible to ignore, but it should be the MVP of these playoffs. And if we're looking at it as a cumulative thing, I think Bob earns it. But we're in a place now where I feel like it's a matter of what happens in this series that determines who gets over the line. Because Bob hasn't had those saves. Like, we thought Bob was going to get it until Game 4 of the last series because of everything that had happened before. I think, Barkov is always consistent in delivering and could receive it for his performance in this playoffs.
And currently leads us in points.
Right. And maybe also with a little bit of the contextual that, Lifetime Achievement Award kind of comment, like he is great and but like also Sam Bennett and Brad Marchand have had huge plays, huge goals, like our third line, any one of those guys. It'd be crazy to think of like a Lundell getting his Conn Smythe trophy, but they're all in the place of, a stone's throw of one another in terms of total points and, contribution plus minus to these goals. That I think it'll be in this series that the winner is really comes forward. But I'd love to see it be Sam Bennett. To be honest, I know you'll like me on that, Taylor.
Before going to free agency,
he's been so huge, literally in so many games. Yeah,
that would be insane. Like right before you're going into free agency, just like
that's gonna be tough to recite of that.
Yeah,
literally wins the Conn
So
Smythe.
no, we don't want Bennett to get it.
I don't think I want it anymore.
then I
I'll
want
take
Brad.
the trade-off. I'll take it.
Dan, you said Barkov.
For a cup.
Could you imagine, let's say we do win the cup, right? And Barkov gets the Conn Smythe. Can you imagine that picture with Barkov standing around the Selke, the Clancy, the Conn Smythe, and the Stanley Cup? And he's just like this, the most humble guy in the league.
And the Prince of Wales.
And
the Prince of Wales trophy.
Yeah, and the Prince of Wales. Oh my God.
And he wouldn't even, he'd be toothless smiling. He'd be
Yeah.
like that.
It would be like his NHL draft interview when he was like,
Neat.
I heard the Panthers were interested in me and they went ahead and picked me. It's like, very, very excited to have you, Mr. Barkov. My prediction, since everyone asked, I think that...
Taylor,
Hey.
what's your prediction?
Hey, thanks, man. You know what? I'm going to go a little bit out of the box. I want Benny. I also want Bob. I want Barkov. God damn, I would be happy with all three. But if I'm going to just predict and just throw out a prediction here, I think Verhaeghe is going to have some big-ass goals in this series. I think he's going to be around, like, line mates that are going to, like, give him some space, like a Bennett or like a Kachuk. Give him some room because they'll mix up lines. Give him extra room. He's going to be the open guy. He's going to shoot some pucks that are going to go into the net. because that's how you score a goal in
is
the
that what it
NHL.
Swag's got a shot back. Though. Swag has a shot back.
Come back next week for
Here-
some in-depth analysis. No, hold
The
on,
team
let me finish.
that's going to win is the team that scores more goals than the other.
When he turns his eyeglasses upside down, I know I fucked up. All right, so yeah, no. I think Verhaeghe is gonna be like the guy, and you know he had the big goal against Carolina that felt fucking great, and he just has it in his bones. He's had an amazing playoffs after a down regular season, and his confidence is just built series over series. He's been putting the puck in the net, which is how you score. He's been laying the body on people and actually, you know, being productive in other ways as well. I think he's going to have a massive series, and I think he's going to be the hero.
I like that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right, and as I mentioned, it could be anybody, right? Because
As long as
everyone's
it
putting
comes
up so
to
many points.
cancer.
Just so we're not a completely biased podcast called the Pucking Panthers Podcast, if the Oilers do win the cup, who do you guys think wins? It's easy, right? Just McDavid? They just give it to McDavid again?
Probably.
Or do you
could be?
change
And honestly, it could be Stuart Skinner. I mean, if he goalies us
I don't know
for
if
some reason.
I don't know if Skinner has enough games played. I mean, he's been awesome lately, but I mean, Pickard had what 6 or 8 games played first, so that's a tough one.
Yeah.
It could be
If they took away
Draisaitl.
Bob's Conn Smythe because he had one bad game and then a couple shaky ones. They're not giving it to Stuart Skinner, who had a horrible 2 rounds of the playoffs and then just turned it on against the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
Can we rifle through a lot of comments? We got so many. We're going to do them really quick, and then we're going to wrap things up here.
And I only have the 4 shot.
And then our dogs are going to go pee.
Awesome.
I don't know if I have one highlighted right now.
Dan is killing it with these
Dan.
sound effects. Thanks, L.
Dan, killing it.
Do we know who that is?
That is.
Yes, we do.
Who could it be? Ethan Ross says Oilers in 6. Boo. Get the fuck out of here. Do you have a boo?
What a hater.
Sound effect?
No, I have this.
All right, that works. Ethan,
Oh,
I'm not a fan
Or
of
it
you.
could be your colon.
I knew you were going to pull that up.
Sasha says,
You blow
fingers,
hard.
You blow hard. Fingers
do we
crossed.
Want Oettinger?
I would love on it. I would love Ottinger.
Okay.
Yeah, I would take him.
Yeah. Ryan says you look like Sam Bennett. That's crazy to say that about Alex. He looks nothing like him.
Take the hat off. Come on. Take the hat off, cutie. Let's see it. Sam Bennett.
I mean,
Whoa.
I can.
Hey.
I don't know about that. I
You
think
do on your way to
Sam
Edmonton.
Bennett.
Elbow.
Sam Bennett's doing a little better. Hey, actually,
The elbow? Is that what you were doing?
yeah. Just,
Yeah.
how about now? Sorry, that was
Uncanny.
yeah. I'm really sorry to all of our Toronto fans. Only 3 people can win the Conn Smythe, and I guess that's what we already talked about. Remember that 8-1 game?
Oh my
Trying
God.
to forget it.
Yep.
907 King says I have Chucky getting 3 goals in the first 2 games. He could be a hero. Like I said about Verhaeghe, he could very well be a hero. And L says game Satan 6 OT winner. Last team to go back-to-back was my Detroit Red Wings. 907, appreciate you watching as a Detroit Red Wings fan. Hope you just cheer on another team that's an Atlantic Division foe.
I wish you guys were still in the West.
Yeah, no. Yeah, they're coming up. Ryan Keelan says you have to be a fool to think we win this series. Always bringing up the best points. Chris Matos or Cameron Sauls saying Cats in 6, baby.
And Restream posted it too.
And Restream reposted it. 1978. That's as long as the Leafs' last Cup win. That actually was in
theirs was in
1967. 67.
That
Nice
see,
try.
there are
Ryan knows.
there are hosts and
Ryan
there
knows.
are fans.
Ryan knows. It's all on purpose. It's all part of the bit.
Yeah,
Ryan
it's part
knows.
of the
He
bit.
knows. He knows.
Yep.
Let's
Get in
go,
there,
Sasha.
Sasha from Matthew there. Bobby, I assume this is
Okay.
around the Conn
For the
Smythe.
Conn
Sure.
Conn Smythe.
A-Mills 19 saying, realistically, I would say we are a dynasty. Look at what we're doing to the league, tearing apart the East one by one to try and beat us.
You know what's kind of funny
Strikeout.
about the dynasty
Is it
thing?
Richard and Son?
Taylor, you said you wouldn't say we're a dynasty until we win 3 cups, and you're probably right. You know what I mean? We may not be a dynasty.
Along with Chris, yes.
Yeah. We may not be a dynasty, but we are the killer of wannabe dynasties because we have completely killed the Tampa, Boston, and the Leafs, who all thought they were dynasties in the makings for so many years until we completely
Dang.
Dynasty or not, we're gonna go down as one of the great teams.
Yeah.
Like what is like a tier below dynasty? Like what can we classify right now as?
A juggernaut. The Panthers, the Florida Panthers are a juggernaut. And the dynasty discussion, I think, is healthy and it's good and it's exciting. I want us to be the best team that ever existed ever on the planet in human life form ever.
Hey, you might get your wish. We have a wide open window. And if we re-sign Bennett this year, wide open for the next 5 years at least.
This is feeling good. And I remember like all these contracts getting signed. I was getting really fucking excited. I was like, this is holy shit. We're getting this guy we're getting Rhino 6 years. We're getting Bennett 6 years.
Now we just added Seth Jones to that.
Seth Jones. He's on for 7. Like, it's crazy. Any closing thoughts? We'll go around the horn real quick. Let's keep it under 20 seconds each. Dan, what do you got for us? What are your final thoughts as we head into the series on Wednesday?
I'm excited. I can't wait to watch more hockey. I want to see how we come out. I'm nervous. I know it's going to be a game of stopping their attack and being smart. I would love to see no defenseman goals until the series winning goal, because that would prove to me that they are far enough back to make sure that that there's no rush chances happening and nothing like that. I want to be conservative on that. I think we'll grind them down if we're ultra conservative. If we activate too aggressively because we want to win individual games, we might get in places where we're giving up chances. So clean Panthers hockey will get the job done. I think we won't take them all, but in 6, I think we'll take it.
Amazing. Chris, final thoughts there, and just noting that none of us picked a defenseman to win the Conn Smythe, which is a rare occasion anyway. But Chris, go for it.
Win the forecheck, third line and fourth line as well, but third line especially needs to win their battles. We're going to win with our depth, not with our stars.
Yep.
And Bob. Those are the 3 things.
Gotta have Bob. Alex.
I'm so excited. I am. These are the times that I've been waiting for my whole life, and we're in it. We're deep in it, and I'm so excited. And you know what? Even if we lose, we won the cup last year, and I think we're going to be back. I think our window's wide open. I love this team. I'm so happy to be a fan right now. You know what I mean? We've been through so much shit, all of us. You know what I mean? Me and Taylor together for so many years, and it's just a great time. And I'm so excited for Wednesday. I'm a little nervous, but that just comes with being a fan. You know, you're a little nervous. I love it. I love what we're going through right now. I love it. And if we
deserve
win the cup
this
again,
as fans.
Yeah. And if we win the cup again, I swear you all better be down in Fort Lauderdale Beach in the ocean with me.
Oh, I'll be there.
We'll be
better
there.
be there with me in the parade. And then we're going to Elbow Room, and I'm buying you all a beer. Come on, let's go. You better be down here this year.
Deal.
That sounds good. I got the shots. Court, what are you thinking?
I'm nervous, but I'm honestly excited, and I'm gonna get a little emotional for a second. Like, I'm really just grateful also because the Panthers have built a community for us, especially up here in New York, that like I would not trade for the world. We have the most insane group of people who we get to like experience this with, and friendships that I think are gonna like outlast the dynasty that the Panthers are right now. And I'm just so excited for the next couple weeks to get to experience this again with everyone. So I'm stoked for that. I'm excited. Dan.
I love that.
That wasn't sarcastic.
That's great.
That was
a real
Dan was melting in his chair. That was a genuine sound effect.
Specifically Daniel. I love watching games with Dan.
Oh,
I love what
like
you
watching
said.
games with you too.
I love what you said, because that's the absolute truth. In these moments, it's like it's not going to last forever, but the moments and the people that you're doing it with, that you're experiencing it with, will last forever, farther than the team being good. That's a great thing to say. I love that.
and you can't really have that joy without adversity. Like we went through it. We really went through it for a very long time, and it's just like but like being a part of like, and Court is also a fan that's new to this sport as well, and like has found like this community with us in New York, and we get to hang around all these like awesome people and just use hockey as an excuse to just get to know and love other people that are around us. But yeah, no, it's just been an absolute joyride, and we absolutely fucking deserve this. We're gonna win the cup. We're gonna win it again, and guess what? Next year we're gonna win it again, and that's what I'm preaching.
And again.
Fatigue is gonna have to kick in at some point, guys. Come on. I've been talking about fatigue for so
No
long.
state income tax. Keep the free agents.
Yeah. We're gonna get a special deal from the White House that's gonna lower the Florida tax rate to nothing on the federal level.
Even lower.
I mean,
It'll probably happen.
Hey, you want to talk about the New York community and the fan group that we've assembled and how nice that is. Our current viewership total is 212.
212.
The New York area code.
If you don't,
It just jumped up to 237. So literally, that moment was granted to us by
small window.
By the gods, the hockey gods, for what a sentimental moment that was.
We have two comments from two members of the New York City Florida Panthers, and if you are on Instagram and you want to even just connect with these, we have love you guys from Lisa, and we have so happy to have found you guys from Sasha. Thanks so much, guys, for not only being a part of this group and this amazing New York Florida Panthers community, but also for watching our little preview here for the Stanley Cup final. This was awesome. This is from Launch Live Now Studios. Thanks so much for watching the Pucking Panthers podcast. From Alex, from Chris, from Dan, from Courtney. I'm Taylor.
From Taylor. And Steffi. Thanks to Steffi for joining and hanging out in the chat, and everybody else in the comments.
Thank you, Tev.
And
Tev.
Great hearing from Tev as well. This has been the Pucking Panthers podcast, where we don't give a puck.
See ya.